This time on Distant Shores, we sail into the Mediterranean, enjoying a hot Spanish summer, to check out the amazing Balearic Islands, and meet up with friends Nick and Terysa on Ruby Rose.
We've got a bit of a breeze today. We've had this absolutely flat calm for the last 4 days, I think. And now we've got about 5 to 6 knots of breeze. We're using our big Genoa and full mainsail, and we're slipping along. So fun with the light sea that we can keep sailing at good speed. Otherwise, we would have to put on the motor. The sails are magnificent. You can see how perfect the shape is, and that's giving us the extra speed. It's got to be one of the best upgrades you can do for an older boat to replace older sails that may have lost their shape a little. It's only a few miles ahead now. We'll round Cabo de Gata and leave the Costa del Sol and then on to the Costa Blanca. Having some pretty calm days sailing here, or more likely motoring down the coast. Today looks like another calm one. We got to make some progress down toward jump off to the Balearic Islands. It's some pretty coastline that you get to go past, but the wind seems to be generally from the west or from the east. And this case we've had some real calms and then a bunch of headwinds coming up in the next couple of days.
Right there.
Oh, there he is.
It is.
Yeah, he's got his arm, he's reaching his arms out. Little octopus down there. He's just looking up at the boat. He was closer to the anchor before, wasn't he, Malcolm? He was right up beside it.
On the other side, yes.
It is very clear. It's perfect. Hot summer day, been a warm night's sail as we've motored much of the way across the channel toward the Balearic Islands. We're just seeing Ibiza in the background and Formentera, where we're going to be mooring in the bay for the night. Very exciting to be back in the Balearic Islands. This is our first time here since the year 2000. We're going to see how it's changed.
The last time we sailed here, we were filming season 1 of Distant Shores. The beach looks just as lovely as we remember it. There are now moorings in the bay, making it easier to fit a few more boats in without worrying about swinging into your neighbors. We sailed on to Mallorca and revisited our favorite anchorage there as well. This bay is also just as gorgeous, and since it's high summer, it's pretty busy. But everyone finds a spot and anchors properly. In the light winds and during the day, if anyone comes too close, they can just move. It's a very festive summer Mediterranean Spanish atmosphere. Most of these boats leave for the night, and we share the harbor with just a few other yachts, including 2 super yachts. This one moored stern to boulders on the shoreline. If you're planning a summer cruise here, it pays to be proficient with anchoring and ready to use shortest scope. Having a good big anchor with all chain, and lots of it, means you can also anchor further out in deep water. We also use an anchoring app to track our swinging circle and detect if we're dragging. Admiral Nelson declared there were only 3 good harbours in the western Mediterranean: Mahone in Mallorca and July in August. Sailing here in the summer, we had mostly light winds, meaning many of the harbours with just a little protection would be fine now, but not out of the summer season. Our luck for the wind holds, and just when we get ready to return to Gibraltar, the easterly winds set in for our trip back. The Med has a reputation for having either too much, or in the summer, too little wind, but our trip back we sailed more than 60% of the way.
So we're using both of the poles today, both of our head sails sailing downwind. You can see we've got this one out here is our small self-tacking jib. It's only the 3rd or 4th time we've done this rig, and we're practicing for it for the Atlantic crossing. That's why I wanted these 2 poles to be able to make the downwind really bulletproof setup. Both the sails are set. We're just pulling the boat sails so nicely this way. It's just great to just roll along downwind and not to worry about anything. It's excellent. What a great day and a nice time to test it out.
Arriving back at El Miramar Marina, we managed to meet up with our friends Nick and Terysa on Ruby Rose. It's been a few years and an ocean away since we last saw them, so we need to catch up. Of course, they have a YouTube channel, and we recommend you check it out, links included.
Well, I just wanted to catch up on what we've been... Sorry, were you going to jump in?
I was about to start singing something from The Lion King.
Ignore him, Paul.
Carry on.
Well, it's great to get together with you guys again. I really wanted to make it work to get together.
I know.
We're watching your progress and sad to miss you in Lagos.
Yeah, that would have been a real shame if we didn't catch up. Yeah.
But fantastic that we caught up finally.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we haven't seen you since the BVIs, and then before that, Las Palmas, and you know we.
Or St. Lucia. No, we missed you there.
And as we tell you every time we see you, you were our go-to guys when we were planning this.
Yes.
So it's kind of like you know. We get so many people on our YouTube channel saying you are an inspiration to us as we plan, people that will be doing this in 2020, 2021 and onwards, that you are our go-to guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, thank you.
And and as we said to you last night over dinner, your Morocco episode, we went to Rabat purely based on your Morocco episode.
Oh, I hope it worked out okay, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rabat
It was
an
a
amazing
highlight of
Yeah.
well, we've been cruising for 3 years now, and it still remains a highlight, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
So-
Favourite place. Yeah.
So there's we thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for letting us know. And
Yeah.
Well, it's good, as I said, share the love. It's an inspiration to us on cold winter evenings in
Yeah.
London, with the rain hitting the window and us saying we really must get rid of this and go and sail somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
well, so what have you done since? Catch me up a little bit on some of the highlights of your cruise the last year, and it was a year and a half ago, I guess.
We saw you in the BVIs, so yeah.
Yeah, so we caught up in the BVIs, I think, last year, and then that was our second season in the Caribbean, and from there we sailed to Puerto Rico, spent some time there.
Well, that's right. We were talking about the Bahamas.
Yes.
Suggesting options for Bahamas cruises.
Yes, exactly, and we ended up finally dragging ourselves away from the BVIs, which was not easy to do, and going to the Bahamas, and we cruised there for about 6 weeks. It was a bit fast, but we had to get up, hurricane season was approaching, we had to get up to the States. And then we spent about 7 months in the States, living aboard in a marina in Charleston, which was fantastic. And then we came back to the Bahamas, and we've spent, I think, a couple of months this year, earlier this year, in the Bahamas, just in the Abacos, which are a fantastic cruising ground. We had a lot of fun. And then, we sailed across the Atlantic back to Europe. So we went from the Bahamas to Bermuda. We were only in Bermuda for about a week, which was a shame. We would have liked to have stayed longer. And then we had a 2-week or a 16-day crossing from Bermuda to the Azores, and then another week at sea from the Azores to Lagos in Portugal.
Oh, great. So you guys have put on a ton of miles in the last...
We have.
Yeah, we
yes.
have.
We spent 29 days at sea in a 6-week period, I think. And do you know any more statistics from that? How many miles did we do in the end?
I can tell you how many muesli bars I ate.
We know we averaged 4.9 knots, which was really slow.
Well, to tell you the truth, Terysa blogged about this, about when we got to America last year, we had been going from east to west, and we got to a point where we really, me more than Terysa, would completely paralysed with indecision. Do we go through Panama and continue, or do we head back? And this boat is an amazing, amazing boat, but at 40 foot, we kind of thought, well, we wondered about average speeds. And when we crossed the Atlantic the first time, we kind of ended up with an average speed of 6.5 knots. And we're like, that's fine, 6.5 knots will be absolutely fantastic going around the world at 6.5 knots. Coming back across, because we had to deal with different weather conditions and it wasn't blowing 25, off the aft quarter every day, our average went down to 4.9. So it kind of, when we got into Lagos, it reaffirmed that to do the big miles that you need to get across the Pacific.
And beyond, of course.
We need something which has a slightly higher waterline speed. Saying that, obviously, you can cross the Pacific in a bathtub, and people have done it in much smaller boats, and, people have circumnavigated in tiny little boats. It's probably just testament to how terrible we are as sailors that we need a slightly longer boat length, and we're not willing to endure months at sea.
Well, it's about
your home too. It's the space you can have on the boat.
It's about comfort on board as well as everything else. So we just want something a little bit faster, a bit more comfortable. It ticks a few more boxes. But this one of the reasons why we came back to Europe is because this boat is perfect for Europe. As we were discussing last night, you can't get a better boat for sailing around the Mediterranean or other parts of Europe. So
the Bahamas.
Or the Bahamas, indeed. So we thought, while we've got the perfect boat for these cruising grounds, let's go to those cruising grounds and really enjoy them while we've got the perfect boat for it. Yeah.
Well, thanks for catching up to date. And
pleasure.
We'll get together again with your next boat if you do get
Absolutely.
Or the same boat again. We'll probably catch up with you in a few years' time, still talking about changing boats and still having this lovely 38. And as I said, it's we're happy with everything, with all the decisions we've made so far. And as you've said, it was difficult at the time, but now, we're just looking forward to another couple of seasons. Seeing home, really, because Europe is our home, whereas North America, or the contiguous United States and Canada, is your home. So this is home for us, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
See you next time. Thanks.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Join us next time as we head down to Morocco and on to the Canary Islands to get ready for the first big crossing with Distant Shores 3.